Dominik Mysterio has just lost his Intercontinental Championship to John Cena, and he is pissed.
Where's Finn? Where's JD? Raquel, Roxanne, anybody, where is the Judgment Day? Where is my family? Why am I doing...
And he's in Finn and JD's face backstage at MSG during Raw wanting answers. And Finn bites back and he asks the same of Dominik. And Dominik just says, listen, I thought we were a family. But I guess this is only a family when it suits you, isn't it, Finn? Who cares? I'm out. Cena's here tonight and I'm getting my title back. And that's exactly what Dom tries to do. But as he reaches Gorilla, he's already beaten to it by Austin Theory. And Theory is the one who calls out Cena and wants the shot at his newly won Intercontinental Championship, which Cena grants. And as the match is going on in Gorilla, Finn is mocking Dom. And he's saying that he's too slow, which gets Dom even more fired up. But he doesn't act. He just storms off and leaves Cena to it, which means he misses the ending of the match and the interference from the Vision. And they cost John Cena the Intercontinental Championship and anoint Austin Theory as the newest member, which of course brings out Punk, Jay and Cody for the rescue, and they anoint a new team member for War Games. And Dom has seen his title slip away, but he doesn't want to let the next issue slip away, which is when he sees Rey Mysterio backstage. And Rey tells Dom that he's learning things the hard way, and this is the only way to do it. And he also says that there's no family like real family. And no matter what happens, he's still his father and he still loves him. And Dom hears it, but pushes past Rey and keeps walking. But then Rey yells out to him, you know, a true luchador doesn't run away from his problems. He faces them head on. Which gets Dominik storming back over into Rey's face, and he says, then you can consider this me facing my problem head on. And he slaps his father in the face and walks off again. And this leaves Rey not only even more disheartened, but fuming. And he calls out Dominik on Raw, and of course he obliges, but he refuses to go to the ring. He doesn't want to follow any orders. But before they can even say a word, Rey's on his way down the aisle, and the brawl is on. It's just gone so far past anything that is a basic personal rivalry, because this is family. And as they get separated by security, Adam Pearce comes out and makes it official. It's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Dominik Mysterio in San Diego at Survivor Series. But he's also been on the phone with the powers that be at AAA, and they've approved it to be for the AAA Mega Championship. And now it's time for Dominik to put his money where his mouth is. Can he really prove that he's the best luchador? Well, Finn and JD have their doubts in the clubhouse. They're again mocking him. But Dominik makes it very clear. He doesn't want them anywhere near his match. And he's going to prove himself to everybody tonight. And he sets about doing that. And remarkably, the crowd is actually split. The younger generation is all about Dominik. They sing his name. They cheer every single move. But then there's the older heads in the 619 district who are right behind the legend in Rey, and it makes for one of the most electric atmospheres of all time. It's one of the best matches of either man's career, and the emotions are off the charts. But the referee also finds himself off his feet, and we enter the danger zone for Rey, because it's now time for Dom to lie, cheat, and steal. However, while he's looking under the ring, he makes a decision to not grab anything. And he slides into the ring, but the time wasting cost him, and Rey sends him into the ropes, and he dials it up, and he flushes Dom in the chin with a 619. He goes up top, he leaps off with a frog splash, but unbelievably, in something that he learned from John Cena, he powers Rey up, he hits him with an AA, and Rey Mysterio desperately crawls over to the ropes, but he's in perfect position, and he gets a 619 of his own. And Dom scales the ropes and lands the frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. And it gets a massive ovation. He did things the right way and still won. And he retains the Mega Championship. And he shows a hell of a lot of growth in the process. until JD and Finn hit the ring and start assaulting Ray. Dominik didn't want them to interfere in the match, but he didn't say anything about afterwards. And Dom is just looking on as they hammer away on his father, and the crowd is begging him to get involved. He's got to do something, surely. Hey, what's your problem, Dominik? We didn't get involved in the match, and we came out to help you celebrate by beating up that deadbeat. You're hearing those cheers, aren't you? You're going soft. It's actually pathetic. You know what's pathetic, Finn? The fact that of all people you think you can tell me what to do. You've wasted your career, and I'm not going to do the same. So leave me alone to be the greatest of all time. And that goes for all of you. Finn wants to go after him, but the rest of Judgment Day holds him back. And they say that this is what happens with families. They fight. And he agrees to give him some space. But how long will this quote-unquote family be able to stick together? Because the divide is growing larger and larger. And so is Dominik's anger, as he is booked in a match with Dragon Lee to once again prove he's the best of the best right now, and he wins in very impressive fashion. But most importantly, he wins cleanly. But it's who is watching from ringside that gets his attention the most, because it's Vikingo, who has taken a much darker personality since losing his title to Dominik, and he's not impressed at all with what he's seen, and he actually leaps the barricade and cheap shots Dominik to a chorus of boos from the American audience, and he shows that this new vicious side isn't just what he's been saying, and lets some of the actions do the talking too. And Dominik is destroyed by Vikingo, and there's a big reason for it, because AAA have a major event coming up and he wants his title back. But he doesn't just want Dom nowhere near 100%. He wants him to not even show up. So he tries to end him. Dom looks relieved. It isn't Judgment Day that's there for him. It's his true family. And Ray briefly looks over his shoulder at Dominik and leaves. He doesn't ask for a thank you. He doesn't ask for forgiveness. He just does what a father does. And the save comes in handy. Because as we arrive at the big show, Dom might not be 100%, but he's sure as hell better than he would have been. But once again, we see the crowd get right behind Dominik. It really feels like he's got some incredible momentum, and he's firing on all cylinders, and despite his injuries, fights through the pain and gets Vikingo into those deep waters. And he's got him in place, and he nails him with a 619, and the arena is shaking. They're desperate to see their favourite son land the frog splash, and he does. And the referee makes the count. 1, 2, no. The referee is pulled out of the ring, and we see that it was J.D. McDonough. And of course, he has the backing of Roxanne and Raquel. And it's clear that the Judgment Day has turned on Dominik. And with a swift coup de grace, Finn buries the last chance that Dominik had to retain. And the rest is elementary. Vikingo takes back his stronghold of AAA. Dominik is left with nothing. He's lost it all. And he cuts a lonely figure as he walks up the ramp, not realizing that he isn't actually alone, because the crowd cheers him on as he leaves. But he walks right into Raw with a steely resolve, because there's nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose. and he has Judgment Day firmly in his sights, and he tries to tackle them head on right away. And this, of course, goes south because the outnumber is just far too much. And they show that Dominik is in way over his head. But he remains defiant, and he vows that not only is he going to take down Judgment Day, he's going to do it while winning the Royal Rumble. And shortly after he arrives, though, there's a massive distraction because Brock Lesnar has entered and everyone is trying to get him out. And it actually takes the attention away from Dom being eliminated. However, the referees didn't see it, and Dom is all too aware. And with a smirk and a shimmy, he slides back in the ring and he gets Logan Paul out, which the referee now sees, and it stands. And it brings the house down. The crowd love it, and Logan is fuming, but he's forced to leave ringside. However, it's later in the match when Dom really gets the opportunity to extract the revenge as Finn enters the chaos, and immediately they target each other and throw hands. You can feel the hatred finally spilling out after months and potentially even years of tension. But this is when the numbers game once again comes into play, because entering is JD McDonough. And of course, they get on top, and Dominik is struggling, fingertips away from being eliminated. It's just too much for him, especially now with Roxanne and Raquel on their way down, and they are gonna make sure of it. The timing is perfect. It's Rey Mysterio, and he hits the ring right away to get into the action. And he grabs JD McDonough and tosses him over, getting that elimination and turning the tide. And now he looks over his shoulder at his son, but not to walk away. Instead, with emotion filling their eyes, they work together. It's a beautiful sight. The crowd loves every second of it. However, in a cruel twist of fate, as Dominik looks for the kill shot, he's flung over and Balor eliminates him. And he absolutely basks in it. He's won the battle, but certainly not the war, because Rey is still in, and he goes right at Balor and he tumbles him over the top rope as well, right into the sights of Dominik, who picks up where they left off. And they brawl at ringside and off up the ramp. And it's clear that this version of Dominik isn't playing around anymore. But they still know they have the numbers advantage, and Finn wants to make sure that him turning his back on his family is fully paid for. And they send multiple messages, including trashing his locker room and branding it with exactly how they feel about him. But not only his, they also trash Rey's. And it seems as though this has woken up the mighty Judgment Day. They get their swagger back. They get their, dare we say it, edge back. This leads us to the final Raw before Elimination Chamber, where Balor once again is wreaking havoc with the group, and they have Rey bailed up and hurt, and Balor says, Dominik, we are and always have been your true family. The reason you even got to where you are now is because of us. We made you great, not him. So this is one chance, and one chance only, to save your career and his. Are you with us or against us? It's your choice. Dominik is having his father's career hung over his own head. They're trying to manipulate him into joining the group. He doesn't. Instead, he comes out firing on all cylinders, and he's ready to fight. And he and his father managed to clean house, but they want to keep fighting. And Adam Pearce likes this idea. He comes out right away and decides that in the main event, it's going to be a tag team match. And it bursts to life, and it feels like a real moment to see the Mysterios back in action. And they're seamless. So seamless, in fact, that Balor panics, and he shuts it down. He gets deliberately disqualified so they can really lay the boots in proper. And they do. And they use weapons and everything they can get their hands on to wipe them out, with Raquel and Roxanne at ringside feeding them into the ring. And then Finn grabs Rey and tears his mask off. And he goes over to Dominik. He says, "We tried to warn you, We are your family. But no, you wanted to be like him all along. You think you're a great luchador? You want to be like your dad? Well, now you can be. But what you're also gonna be is another victim. All I see is a little boy who will always need saving. But there's no saving you now. Elimination Chamber. Me, you, last man standing. Finn puts Ray's mask on Dominik and leaves both father and son laid out in the ring. And nobody is giving Dominik a chance to win this match. Except, of course, for his father, who is battered and bruised like his son. But he meets him in his locker room ahead of Elimination Chamber. And he says, I've always been proud of you, Dom. But never more than right now. The way you've come through all this and you're still fighting is exactly what a true luchador does. You faced it head on. You're a warrior. But most importantly, you're a Mysterio. Last man standing. The only way you could settle this kind of rivalry, and they demolish each other physically. It's uncomfortable, it's brutal, and it's everything a match like this deserves. And Finn, who obviously has the experience edge over Dom, also has the physical one, because the constant assaults have taken their toll. But as Ray pointed out, Dom is a Mysterio, and Mysterios fight. And with the crowd behind him, he runs riot with a massive comeback and a kendo stick, which ends up on the outside of the ring with both men wielding chairs, and they swing at the same time and connect at the same time. And they're both down, and the referee starts the count, which is when, of course, we see Roxanne come out. She's now coming to make sure Finn Balor walks out the winner, and she picks him up. And Dominik has no one there for him because Ray's down backstage with JD and Raquel, and the referee continues the count. Roxanne is gonna win it for him. Then we see the referee stop, and they can't understand why, but we see it. Morgan is back, and the place erupts. It's shaking, and she runs off Roxanne with a chair. Finn then runs at Dom, but he throws him into the ring, and Dominik dials it up. He nails the patented 619, but he isn't done. He loads Finn on the table, and then, with a smirk and a shimmy, leaps off for the frog splash right through the wood. And Dom, with nothing left, crawls up with his last piece of energy, props himself up in the corner to look back at his past while becoming the undisputed future. And he spent years running from his father's shadow. But tonight, he finally became the man standing in the light.